The Vendee Globe racecourse is the biggest racetrack in the world. It's non-stop, single-handed, one lap of the planet. And what that means when you start from France is a trip down the Atlantic, a circumnavigation around Antarctica, and then a trip back up the Atlantic again. So let's look at that in the three sections. We start in the town of Les Sables-d'Olonne in the Vendee region, and the Vendee region is the sponsor of the race, hence it's called the Vendee Globe race. From there, we head out west, out of the Bay of Biscay. As soon as we've cleared the Bay of Biscay, we can drop south, and the aim is to get into the trade winds as quickly as we can. So that's the area of wind generally that starts south of the Canaries and blows from east to west across the Atlantic. We cross the equator, and that means navigating the doldrums, an area where there's no wind at all. So when we start coming down the Atlantic, we'll be looking for our position to cross the doldrums, where the area with less wind is as small as possible. And then we're into the South Atlantic, and we're in the South Atlantic trade winds. And this time we're on the west of the South Atlantic, and we go down the coast of Brazil. Once we're about 3/4 of the way down the coast of Brazil, we should be looking for an opportunity to get down into the Southern Ocean and make our way east to the first mark of the course, and that is the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa, which we must leave to port on our left-hand side. So as soon as there's an opportunity, we break free of the West Atlantic, and we will be looking for a low pressure system to drive us down into the south. And then we're in an area that's called the Southern Ocean. So that's the second stage of the course. On this second stage of the course, this is where we actually circumnavigate the globe. And the idea here is that we go as far south as we can, because that allows us to circumnavigate the globe with less miles. If you imagine the shape of the globe and your job is just to go around it, then the distance to travel around the world is shorter, closer to the poles than it is at the equator. So we will drop down as far south as we can, and that's going to be defined by an ice limit, which will be given to us by the race committee. And the idea with the ice limit is to stop skippers taking crazy risks by going into an area where there's icebergs. So it keeps everything equal, and everyone will follow this ice limit as how far south they go. So that second leg, that takes us initially into the Indian Ocean, and then we go past the bottom of Australia and New Zealand, and we end up in the Pacific Ocean, and then drive all the way south to Cape Horn. So we've got our next two marks of the course will be passed in that second leg. So Cape Lewin, which is the southwest corner of Australia, we must leave that to port, and then Cape Horn we must also leave to port. So this second chunk of the course is going to be the longest, so that's 5 or 6 weeks we will spend in the Southern Ocean. Cold temperatures, big breeze, big waves. This is going to be when the most pressure is on us as skippers. And then the final leg for us is back up the Atlantic to finish in Les Sables-d'Olonne. So we round Cape Horn, and this time we travel up the west side of the Atlantic by the South American coast, all the way up to cross the equator. And then once we're across the equator, we'll need to decide whether we're going in a direct line to Cape Finisterre, which is the corner of the Bay of Biscay, or whether we have to stay to the west and go around the Azores high and take a more circuitous route into the finish. But basically we're coming all the way up the Atlantic, and then finally a run into the Bay of Biscay and finish in Les Sables-d'Olonne.
Maintenant, ouvrons une page sportive, plus particulièrement dédiée au nautisme.
Alors que les conditions météorologiques se dégradent fortement sur la façade atlantique, Sam Goodchild et Thomas Rouillant s'apprêtent à prendre le départ du Vendée Globe. Qui parviendra à boucler ce marathon de plusieurs mois dans des conditions particulièrement
C'est mercredi matin, c'est séance piscine ici avec l'Orient Grand Large. Je m'entraîne 2 fois par semaine dans la piscine. Je fais du pilates, je fais du muscu, je fais du vélo. Il faut être vraiment en forme pour naviguer sur un moquette, c'est hyper physique, surtout cette année pour préparer le Vendee Globe. En plus, aujourd'hui, il fait un temps de piscine.
Action. Bon allez les filles, on va dans l'eau. Allez hop hop hop. Bonjour, moi c'est Marion Renard. Je suis coach sportif et maître nageur. Et j'entraîne les skippers à la course au large, dont Sam Davis. Allez, plus en ligne droite. Allez, on essaye. Bras gauche. L'avantage de la natation, c'est que c'est un sport sans impact. Donc ça permet de travailler l'endurance musculaire, cardiovasculaire, le travail mental, la coordination, la force et la puissance, ce qui permettent aussi aux skippers d'être mieux entraînés pour la course au large.
Moi, j'aime la natation parce que j'étais enfant des parents qui avaient un bateau pour la sécurité, pour que si je tombe à l'eau, je panique pas. Mes parents m'ont appris à nager presque avant que je pouvais marcher et j'ai adoré ça. J'étais en club de natation synchronisée, j'ai nagé à assez haut niveau jusqu'à mes 17 ans. J'ai nagé aussi en compétition.
Sam nage exactement le même programme que chaque skipper. Vu son niveau de natation, je vais être un petit peu plus exigeante avec elle pour qu'elle travaille en intensité et en puissance. Alignement de tes bras, Sam. D'accord, viens pas chercher sur le croisement ici. T'as ton mât au milieu, tu le traverses pas. Je vais essayer de la mettre en difficulté pour qu'elle travaille aussi beaucoup le mental et sa technique de nage pour être beaucoup plus gainée et travail de glisse et de puissance.
Sur les entraînements comme ça, c'est entre 2000 et 3000 mètres en moyenne, qui est comme les longueurs de 1000 mètres, c'est quoi, 40 longueurs, donc c'est une centaine de longueurs d'une piscine de 25 mètres.
En natation, vraiment tout le corps est travaillé. En fonction de ce qu'on va appliquer en natation et des nages, le corps va travailler différemment. Donc les groupes musculaires sollicités vont être différents. Sam, elle est en train de nager du crawl. C'est une nage dissymétrique où en fait on demande d'alterner les bras avec une coordination au niveau de la respiration pour garder un alignement du corps dans l'eau pour qu'il glisse plus facilement. Et là, les jambes ne sont pas forcément plus sollicitées que ça parce qu'on n'est pas sur un sprint. Donc du coup, on travaille beaucoup sur la glisse et le gainage. Avec l'utilisation des jambes, forcément, on va utiliser le groupe musculaire des cuisses et des jambes. Donc on va être beaucoup sur les fessiers, les quadris et les ischios. Les séries longues où on va être sur du travail de pull boy, notamment le pull boy entre les jambes, que ce soit aux cuisses, aux genoux ou aux chevilles. Celui-là va tirer énormément sur les petits moyens fessiers et les abducteurs. Va permettre de travailler tout ce qui va être le gainage, donc tout ce qui va être abdos, les grands droits, les obliques, le transverse. On va travailler aussi au niveau des pectoraux pour le tirage du bras en crawl. Souple. Le papillon, ce que nage actuellement Sam, est une nage symétrique, c'est-à-dire que ça demande un mouvement symétrique des bras et des jambes, un alignement de la tête qui est très important parce que c'est une nage très physique qui va faire monter plus facilement le cardio qu'un sprint et du coup une coordination assez impressionnante.
Ma nage préférée, j'aime le papillon, le crawl et le dos et j'aime pas la brasse.
Les bateaux aujourd'hui sont devenus plus violents, donc il est très important d'avoir un bon entraînement pour éviter les blessures. Un entraînement varié dans sa pratique permettra ainsi de travailler différemment le corps, comme Sam fait avec la natation, le pilate et la musculation. Ça lui permet de préparer son corps dans l'endurance musculaire, dans l'endurance cardiovasculaire et dans le gainage pour ainsi être plus à l'aise sur son bateau. Vous me faites 25 mètres sprint de votre nage préférée. Sur 50 mètres souple.
Today is an exciting day because we're getting the drifter buoy delivered. There's lots of people around today. I don't think they've all come for the drifter buoy, but I'm happy they'll get to see that we get a special package delivered anyway. It's just amazing to see today is Tuesday, I think, and it's full of people. So we're at our beautiful boat, but for me the boat is not only beautiful because of its cool design and how it was built, it's also beautiful because of its branding. And when we hoist our sails, we have this wheel that is all over the boat. That wheel. It represents the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that were established in 2015 by all members of the United Nations. And there's 17 goals, and we particularly can relate to 2 goals. SDG number 13, which is climate action, and SDG number 14, which is life on the water. So everything we do in our Race Me Must Win Climate Action Now mission is connected to that.
Sébastien, Météo France.
Nice to meet you.
I bring you with a boy.
Yes. Drifter.
Boris has already deployed some like that.
Yes, we've deployed a few.
And he's installed many of those on the boat. Scotch tape is biodegradable.
Yeah.
Take off the cardboard if you want for photos.
Yeah.
Don't grab it by the white antenna at the top.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Please do not. Please do not hold it like that.
Yeah, it can break.
And then and then I wrote film the deployment and smile for the camera. Where are you gonna put? Where do you put it in on the boat usually?
Port side in the aft cabin.
Ah, okay.
Right
So
out
it's
port.
it's in the aft cabin. Maybe. Whoop. Okay. The drifter buoy is actually super important for weather forecasting because it's one of the only ways to measure atmospheric pressure. You can't do that with models or trying to predict it. You have to measure it in situ, so in the field basically. And it also measures sea surface temperature as well as surface currents. And there's about currently 1,300, I think, drifter buoys in the ocean, which might seem like a big number, but actually it isn't. And there's still huge areas where there's no buoy and where there's no data being collected. So it's very valuable that Boris and other skippers during these races deploy those buoys. As Milizio, we've been deploying scientific instruments for a while, and this is not the first time Boris will deploy a drifter buoy. He's done that with Will Harris in 2019 in the Transat Jacques Vabre. During the ocean race, we deployed 2 also in Leg 3 in the Southern Ocean, and then again in the last Transat Jacques Vabre and in the Transat CIC.
Yes.
And so I don't know how many buoys that is in the end, but they're very, very valuable. And on top of that, of course, we also have the ocean pack, which we had on board our previous boat and now this boat, so since 2018. And not only during races, but also every training, every delivery. Yeah, you've been always making sure it's running.
As much as we can.
Yeah.
Collect as much data.
Yeah.
Whether it's useful data, the scientists can determine that.
Yeah.
So we're going to crawl in around the side of the boat, behind Boris's bunk, and then up the outside of the tunnel there, so we can see the ocean pack. So come on in. It's a bit of a climb and a crawl and a scrape through. Hope you like potholing / caving. So this is the ocean pack, or the science machine that we carry to measure salinity, temperatures, etc. for the scientists. So this will run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and collect, just sample continuously for the scientists. And then Boris can also see what's happening on the other side, beside his nav seat. There's a screen, and you can see all the numbers and the data and temperatures and everything that the ocean pack provides. For us, even though we're a race boat and we're here to win races, we still need to collect samples and information and data for the scientists, because it is important for us as sailors and ocean users to make sure the oceans are in good condition. It means a lot to all of us. And we're not having a collision. They're testing some of the alarms and sensors on the boat, so don't panic. The boat's tied to the dock, and as far as I understand, there's nothing coming towards us.
Good morning. Today is a beautiful, slightly chilly day. And we are going to the media center, and there's a briefing with all the different scientists that are involved in the Science on Board program to explain to skippers or team members what this is all about and why those drifters and Argo floats are super important. And yeah, that's where we're going. Right, this is the media center.
Alors ce qu'on a choisi avec la direction de la course, c'est nous de suivre la course et on va donner en fait le feu vert un jour, on va appeler ça l'Argo Day, on va communiquer à la direction de la course le feu vert pour vous pour déployer les instruments.
Il va y avoir un impact aussi sur toute la communauté maritime et d'une façon générale sur tout le globe, puisque l'amélioration de la connaissance de l'état de l'atmosphère à un endroit va avoir forcément un impact sur la prédiction du temps à quelques jours sur un autre. Et puis la connaissance de la température de surface de la mer va permettre également sur des grandes séries de données de faire un suivi du changement climatique.
Donc voilà, n'hésitez pas. Photos ou vidéos aussi pour le déploiement. Et bon, les flotteurs Argo sont déjà dédicacés pour la plupart, donc vous pouvez rajouter un petit mot aussi. Et pareil pour les bruits météo, n'hésitez pas à faire un petit dessin, à lui donner un petit nom pour personnaliser.
Yeah, so leaving the meeting. Yeah, okay, that would have been a fail. No, it didn't. So we briefed. We have our position where to deploy the buoy, which is at. Should I say it? No, I'm not going to say it. Yeah, you'll have to follow the race and be surprised. Let's just say it's going to be between the Canaries and Cape Verde that Boris is going to deploy the drifter buoy. Well, it's pretty cool because this time you have 25 skippers taking 36 different instruments on board. So it's from the ocean pack to the Argo float to drifter buoy to this kind of sun photometer. So also new instruments, and it's pretty cool. In case it wasn't clear by now, our Race We Must Win Climate Action Now mission is as important as performing well on the water. We built a new boat, it's super high tech, we trained a lot to be ready for this race, but this science mission, this raising aware mission are super important to us as well. So stay tuned, because during the race you'll get lots of onboard videos from Boris, but not only. We have many science topics around the ocean, around climate, around mangroves that will come your way in videos, articles, social media posts, and it's quite exciting.